They saw the Egyptians as inferior. But after 15 generations, there was no way Haran wasn't part Egyptian. In other words, calling Haran the Greek scientist from Egypt is really an interesting proposition, because how Greek was he? How Egyptian was he? After 15 generations in Egypt, how Greek were the Greeks? If nothing else, their culture was modified by the Egyptians they lived around. Their DNA was modified because they were marrying into them, not Cleopatra. But when I said Cleopatra, you went, oh, the Egyptian pharaoh, the woman. Cleopatra, by the way, it's the 7th. I'm keeping track. I know y'all mostly aren't. Cleopatra the 7th is the famous one. Cleopatra the 7th, that you identify as Egyptian, was 0% Egyptian. So her family tree is wonky and difficult because on 2 occasions she had an uncle marry a niece. So I don't know how to do this because I can't count the generations back, because what am I supposed to do with the niece-uncle thing? Twice. So there's 2 ways to count it, right? You count 7 generations because you count the niece as a separate generation, or 5 generations and you make your life not a nightmare. So I'm doing 5. If you go back 5 generations, the way to do this, the math on this, the math is fun, and the really cool thing is just about everything in the universe can be described as by math, right? You take 2 to the power of the generation you're trying to go to. So you're 0 generations away from you, 2 to the 0 power is 1. Your parents are 1 generation away from you, 2 to the first power is 2. Your grandparents are 2 away from you, so 2 squared is 4. Your great-grandparents are 2 cubed, that's 8. By the time you go 5 generations back, so 3 greats and then grandparents, you end up with 32 ancestors. You should have 32 great-great-great-grandparents. She had 4. A Persian and 3 Greeks.